Hi, and welcome to Selvin Miss Designs. Let's see. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, still had a quick second adjustment to do. My apologies. Okay, so I have, if you haven't caught the description, essentially, I've got a couple of bookmarks. These are just the clear acrylic. Not even sure if you can kind of see this here. That I had left over from last year. I have like 5 or 6 left, and that's it. And I decided that before my next show, which is 2 weeks from today, that I wanted to get these ones finished up. So in my palette, I'm actually just quickly stirring these up here, but in my palette, I have got slate gray. I have the dark Hauser green, and then I've got Prussian blue, and I've combined these with my medium, my glass medium. I'm just going to give those a quick stir. I'm going to go ahead, just for the sake of simplicity, because I hadn't come up with any new designs that I was really sold on yet for these smaller items. I'm just going to go ahead and recreate a design that I had used last year. All of the bookmarks that I created with this design last year actually sold out, so I don't have any more. And I didn't write the pattern down, but I do have a picture of one of them. Thank goodness for images, right? Okay, so that's what I have been looking at. That's what I've kind of saved here. All right, so again, we've got dark green, dark blue, and a gray. The original one was done with something like a magenta, a light green, and a white. So this one's just going to be a little darker. You know what? Give me 1 second, because it's been so long since I've streamed. I'm realizing that my camera looks really gray, so. Really gray. Okay. All right. I don't want to mess around too much with it. I'd rather actually just be painting. So my apologies if it's a little bit off. I don't often get a whole lot of time anymore just to kind of sit down and fiddle with stuff. So it is what it is right now. All right. What I'm going to do, as you can see, I have these bookmarks, and it's the same as this one here. It is just the triangular tip, and I have peeled only one side of the film off, and that side is up, just for the look, because as I do these bookmarks, since they're clear, they're kind of hard to see through. I'll get into that in a minute. But what I've decided to do is, at least for now, keep the backing on them, and I've sold them with the backing on them just so that you can kind of see clearly the designs, and then they can take them off. So I wanted to make 2 of them, but to try to make my life a little bit simpler, I flipped them around and then taped them down so that I could just go ahead and do the pattern. We'll see how this works. I actually haven't tried it. We're gonna find out. All right, so let's see. I'm going to start with the green. I'm on an uneven surface, apparently. My palette was moving. All right. Okay. Let's get that down. These are really dark, rich colors, so I hope what I have in my mind is going to work out. All right, so now we're going to go into the gray, and I'm going to drop in a 2 and get some dots on here. The contrast might not be the greatest for recording, so my apologies, but I did have just a little bit of time today. I wanted to paint. Like I said, I haven't been very active lately, so I wanted to make sure that I'm sharing things with you guys. Okay, let's jump up to a 3. Now, I'm not going to worry because I know that these are not going to fit in between. Okay, and I'm not worried about that. I'm just going to make the dots as close as I can and go around. I love this dark blue. Okay. Now let's go up to A5. And I'm gonna get my little swoosh tool out here. And green. And then I want to make some swooshes just underneath this second row line. So let's start here. Let's see how this is going to work on that base. Okay, I think I've got everything really close together as far as the bookmarks actually touching. So hopefully this doesn't like seep through. Okay, and then I want to make sure maybe this one's a little wider than the other one, just to make sure that it's actually visible. Okay, because again, these are going to get separated. It's not just one full mandala, it's actually just a half on each bookmark. I have another pattern I really want to do. I actually have a couple of these rounded bookmarks. And I think I have a pattern that will work really well with the rounded tip. But I have to shrink it down. The pattern that I created is just slightly larger than the bookmarks. So I have to work on that. That was, like I said, that was one of the reasons that I'm just doing a pattern that I had already in my pocket today. Because I just didn't have the time or, you know, the availability to spend the time today to make the adjustments on it. I just wanted to be able to get out here in front of you guys to be able to say hi for a change. I can't remember what they are now. The next craft show that I'm going to be attending, the host is our local school district, one of our local school districts. And I wanted to incorporate the school colors. And if I remember correctly, this was one of them, the blue and green. And then the other school was blue and silver. And I already have some items that are that color, the blue and silver, or blue and gray. I can't remember, honestly. But I hope these are kind of school colors. I looked it up like 2 months ago when I actually paid for my booth fee. I looked that up and then I've just forgotten, and then I got really, really distracted with doing the first show. And here we are. I've got 2 weeks and full stock. The very first show this year, I really had high hopes for it, but it was kind of a flop, I'll be honest. I didn't really make anything. I made like $6 more than my booth fee was. So it was awful, but you know, you live, you learn. Okay. All right. So now I've got those. Let's see here. I think it was a 3, but I'm going to double check. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's go back into the blue. And I'm just going to do some walk dots down along the swooshes here. Now, if you're wondering why I'm only doing 3 dots at the top instead of doing a full walk, that's because it's going to be so long that I don't want the dots at the very bottom to be super pale, you know, almost non-existent, and really, really small and undefined. And I feel like that happens. So I'm just doing 3, and then I'm going to pick up another tool here and continue. Okay. That one was a little large. Hold on. I must have hit a spot in my paint palette where the medium hadn't got mixed enough. Okay. I'm going to go down to a 1. Really don't need to be holding onto my swoosh tool. Okay, now let's go to A4. Let's see. It's going to be a tight fit, but let's see what I can do here. I think what I did last time, because I did not do them as one solid mandala, I actually had just done a half of one on each of the bookmarks separately, you know, all one at a time instead of two at a time. And I think what I had done last time was move the center dot. So it wasn't right on the center line, but it was farther up. And so these ones got spread out a little more. And so there was a little bit more of a gap there. So I had more room in between these two, I believe. So I'm just gonna have to, like I said, we'll see what works. I do want to get another row of dots all the way around the green swoosh, but I'm not gonna do it and sacrifice the whole rest of the piece and make it look really crappy. I've got a couple of smudge marks as it is, which no, I'm not worried about. I should have actually started with the gray. The gray against the green I think looks better than this, but here we are. And if I decide that I don't like these in the end, that's fine. I don't have to take them with me. My daughter's always trying to steal bookmarks that I've made for her stuff, so they will have a home. Okay. Let's go down to 2. Let's just do those ones bled together, huh? They sure did. Okay. What I may do is once they're dry, I may just go back in and make them one. With everything so close together, I feel like I would have to take a huge majority of the design off to fix it. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to make work what I have. See, I didn't even think about the fact that when I did the previous ones, I had extra room. Okay. All right, so let's go back to a 5. At this point, everything really feels like it just kind of blends in. So just got to get that dark blue back in here after these. Okay, so now we've got that. I have these spaces here that I need to fill in. So the easiest way that I found to do that is, so those ones were a 5. Okay, let's try it this way. I'm going to go down a size to a 4. Hey, thanks. Oh, didn't look over for a minute. My apologies. So I'm going to go down a size, and then I'm going to add the dot here. And then I'm just going to take it out. There we go. Okay. All right, so we're just going to fake that. There. Now I can go back in with the other stuff. For the gray ones, it's going to be the same. So that was 3. Okay, so let's go down to a 2. This one's going to be a little bit off of the bookmark. So again, we'll kind of fake that one. I don't know how clear it is because the colors are so light. So I have the white paper background and then this really light gray. And then, like I said, I know the contrast on my camera somehow got screwed up, and I did not realize it until it was too late. So I don't know how much of it is actually going to come through. Once I'm done, I will go ahead and peel this off. So you can actually see what it looks like on the black. Oops, the table weight on I. Right. Now these will be normal. Oops. Kind of fun to figure out how to, I don't want to say fake it, but where things get cut off. So, you know, they actually look like they did continue properly. Can't I get them all, make sure. All right, so that part's done. I'm gonna try to slide this out from under there. There. Now, these ones need something on the top. Pull them out a little bit. There. I have one more thing to put on these, but that part's going to have to be done separately. Okay, I'll take my masking tape off here. Phew, that worked. Okay. So now I've got the two. The other part that I need to do though, let's take the green. See if I actually have enough room. You're like, what in the world are you doing? Let's see. Let's see. That's gonna work better here. Okay. My little baby dragonfly. Kind of become my little signature. Okay. All right, if I could blow on it and make it go faster. All right, so there those are. Now, again, I have two sides to this here. Get it out of that light. I don't know if I can do this without flipping it over, but I was gonna try. There, maybe. I just need to get a tiny little foothold on the film on the back. Okay, there. So there's the film from the back. And then let's get that off of there. So that's what they look like with it and without it. And again, it's so dark. Let me grab I'm grabbing my sketchbook here real quick. Let me find a blank page. Whoops. So I throw something out of it. Okay, hold on. This is probably going to give a better contrast. There, that's what they'll look like. Okay. What I'm actually considering doing, well, two things. I first want to mention that these are not dry. So on these, I'm going to be putting a dot on each of these three. So that's why I don't care if these are touching, because I'm going to put a separate dot on top of them to kind of bring that out a little bit more. And then there's going to be a green or a dark blue tassel as well. But the other thing that I've been thinking about doing is I have this this white pearl, and like I said, I've been selling them with the backing on, just so that you could kind of see it better. But I've been thinking about actually taking the white pearl and painting the back of it, and I don't know how that's going to look. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure. I would need to make sure that these are, either do it first, again with the glass medium so the paint doesn't come off, and then go ahead and do the front, or like this one, wait until it's completely dry and then flip it over. But I don't know. I've been debating back and forth if I'm gonna like that. So if you guys have an idea, a suggestion, let me know. I really do have to, I have two more. I have these two round ones, and I have some straggler pieces, but I'll show you the other. I think I found, yeah, okay. This was a color scheme and a pattern that I had done, oh boy, 2 years ago or more. And I did really like it, but yeah, if I split that in half, I guess it's not terrible, but see, I've got stuff hanging over the edges. So I might need to scale this down a little bit, and I just need to figure out what I want or what I can scale down, which is probably going to be these dots here, honestly. These larger teal ones. Scale those down and then bring all this in. So I mean, these ones that I did today, I did very, very impulsively. I had some time today and I just wanted to sit down and I just wanted to paint. And I kind of kicked myself in the butt here because, as you can see, the camera setup wasn't correct. And then I forgot the sizing difference of the original one. Let me see if I can pull up the picture. Oh, November of 23. I take that back. That was 2 years ago. Yeah, something like that. So I completely forgot that it was on a slightly different scale and I had more room in between here. And so, yeah, I feel like that kind of just got messed up. So, but anyways, I hope that was enjoyable. I might do another stream tomorrow if I can find the time. If I do, like I want to do the other pattern. I really want to figure that one out and put that on here. So, but anyways, there are those. All right. If you have any ideas regarding, painting the back of them, if you think that'll actually work, or if you've done something like that, let me know. Because like I said, I definitely have not, and I'm afraid to screw them up. If it works, though, I might go back into any of these that I have and paint the backs of them. Because I think, yeah, if it's going to look good, I want it on all of them. So, okay. But thank you so much for joining me. I know it was a little bit short, but I did just want to get those completed. And I'll figure out the other ones and be back later. So, thanks so much for joining me. You guys have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you the next time around. Happy dotting, guys.